Hello and welcome to Football Newsroom. Today we are up here with a match review of the El Clasico. Although it was a nil-nil draw, there's a lot to discuss about, so watch this video till the end. We witnessed a goalless Clasico after 17 long years. It was a tense match, a lot of pressure on the players, but the away side Real Madrid turned out to dominate the game. We surely have to praise Zinedine Zidane for his side's performance. It was a joy to see Real Madrid pressing high up, pressurizing the Barca defense. They were confident with the ball, far more creative and balanced. On the other hand, Barca played very deep and there was a clear lack of movement, energy and creativity. As a result, they couldn't create any threat in front of the goal, and we have to criticize Ernesto Valverde for this. There was a change in his tactics for the last few games, but again, he didn't have a good day last night. Kicking off with the lineups, Barca started in their usual 4-3-3 shape with just one change from our predicted lineup. Semedo replaced Busquets and Roberto played in the midfield. Real Madrid also made one change from our predicted lineup with Gareth Bale starting in the right wing instead of Rodrigo. In the initial stages, Barca dominated the possession and looked to be in fine touch. Real had a very unorganized press at the beginning, and as the midfielders pushed up, space was left between the lines, and sometimes we would see Marc-Andre ter Stegen use this space to pick up Suarez. But as the game went on, Real got more of the ball, had an organized structure, and went on to dominate the game. To be very honest, this was a one-sided affair, and we witnessed a completely different game when compared to the past few El Clasicos. Barca, instead of dominating the ball, sat deep and looked to attack only from the counter-attacks, whereas we could find Real Madrid building up properly with delicate touches and good movement in the final third. Barca defended in their usual 4-4-2 shape with both their right backs starting one ahead of the other. But that didn't really stop Real from threatening the goal. It all started with Isco's role. Even though he started as a left wing, we found him moving inside. Time and again, Isco moved central, and sometimes Benzema would move a little towards the left. Now, as he did so, he pulled a few defenders narrow, and this allowed Mendy to have space and have a lot of time to cross the ball or switch play when required. If his crosses could have been a bit better, Real could have easily scored. As we had discussed in the preview, Barca are allowing a lot more crosses this season, and Real could hurt them in that front. Real in this game had a total of 32 crosses, but they lacked the final touch. Barca also allowed their opponents to take several long-range shots. There were nobody to block them. Although Real couldn't score a long ranger, but they took several shots from outside the box. On the right-hand side too, Real seemed to be pretty balanced. As we had discussed in the preview, Real switched to a double pivot with the ball, and this helped in the building up. This also meant that Valverde had a lot more freedom to move up, and so he did. He could easily operate as a box-to-box midfielder for Real Madrid. Time and again we found Bale staying wide and pulling Alba out, and then Valverde moving forward and exploiting the half spaces. Sometimes we would also find Bale moving in the central areas, looking for long balls behind Barca's high line, and then we would see Valverde moving wider. Off the ball, Real would move back in a 4-5-1 formation, generally with everyone behind the ball. Sometimes Isco would move up and make it a 4-4-2 line with Mendy moving higher up down the left. As we had discussed, teams nowadays seems to enjoy pressing Barca, and they don't seem to have any answer for it. As the game went on, Real committed more and more players forward and pressed high. They had one man behind every Barca defender and midfielder, forcing ter Stegen to go long, and this worked in the later stages of the game perfectly. Barca regularly lost possession, and Lenglet had a very poor night with the ball at his feet. He was constantly losing the ball and was forced to go long, being targeted by the Real players. We finally saw Rakitic moving deeper, and Barca made a back three while building up. This helped him evade the press of Isco temporarily and bought him more time and space. But Real were very compact and brilliant when it came to cutting out the passing lanes, so it didn't really help Barca's offensive play. Sometimes we found Suarez coming a little deeper and Griezmann moving in the central areas, providing the hidden third man runs behind Real's defense. But no one picked him up on these situations, and when they did, Real's defense were very alert and kept the passes out. Messi looked to exploit the spaces in between the lines, but he was hurried off by the midfielders and Ramos, and as the defense pushed up, there was very little space to work with. Casemiro did an excellent job by stopping him and broke Barca's build-up and even counter-attacks. Moreover, his positioning meant that there was very little space for Griezmann and Messi. While Madrid were attacking, it also helped them by letting the fullbacks push higher with a lot more freedom. While attacking, Real faced another advantage because of a lack of proper press by Barca. Time and again we found Suarez just walking, and this forced Griezmann to move up and press Varane. However, his angles weren't perfect and Varane easily picked out Carvajal. Real found space down the right, and this forced De Jong to move wider to prevent the threats. Barcelona clearly lacked in creativity. The midfielders were helping out the defense, so they couldn't help in the attacking front, and as a result, there were no through passes. The attackers had to come near the center to get the ball, and they only had to build up the game, which was very difficult as then they had to cover a lot more distance. The only standout performer for Barca was Gerard Piqué. He was calm and composed and led the backline perfectly. He cleared out several crosses and also he cleared from the goal line to rescue Barca. For Real Madrid, Isco had an excellent game. He was always there whenever needed. He played several passes with the midfielders and built up the game. He also played quick passes to Benzema whenever he was in position. Federico Valverde also had a great game. He not only supported the defense, he also helped in the attacks. He had a great understanding with the midfielders and the wingbacks. So that's it for today guys, and thank you for joining me. Please leave a like if you like the video and do share your thoughts on the comment box, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.